Monks. This is a true story I heard on the drinking table a few days ago. My best friend's name is Lucas. He is driving for a famous construction company in the city. We are close friends since high school. Sometimes we have to meet to have a drink. One day, Lucas and I were drinking at a familiar bar like any other time. We had a few drinks. Lucas suddenly asked me, "Hey, do you believe in Buddha?" Lucas is really strange today. He suddenly asked me like that. I unintentionally laughed aloud. He knows my temperament. I'm not too young anymore, eating, drinking, even having fun. We share everything, but I've never seen Lucas say anything about Buddhism. Now, it's mentioned with a serious expression. I can't help but laugh. Of course I don't believe it. Monks now are all fake, just a form of money. I replied. Lucas saw me speaking in a tone of disdain for current monks. Then he shouted at me like a drunkard. "This is no joke, can't joke with the Buddha." I was surprised for a moment. I am sure that there must be a reason for Lucas to be so assertive, so I poured him a glass of wine and gently asked the reason. "Why do you say that? Have you ever believed in Buddha?" I ask this because I also know this best friend's personality well. And indeed, as I expected, Lucas really encountered one thing. He told me, "I will tell you my story, and you will believe in Buddha right away." As I introduced, my friend Lucas is driving for a construction company. But in some free time, he also takes passengers to earn extra income. At that time, the company assigned Lucas to carry a group of guests. But this time, the group of guests made Lucas seem uncomfortable. Because he had to carry 5 monks, the construction company finished building factories in the suburbs. It seems that these monks were invited to perform the ceremony to ensure the safe and smooth operation of the factory. Lucas is responsible for transporting these 5 monks to the construction site. As soon as the monks got into the car, they began to meditate with their eyes closed and their mouths muttering. To be honest, he didn't understand what the monks were saying, but he sounded sleepy all the time. So he took out a cigarette and smoked it to stay awake. As soon as Lucas took a breath, the monk sitting right behind him discovered and asked him to put out his cigarette. "Driver, could you please put out the cigarette? We can't stand the smell of smoke." Of course, Lucas wasn't happy. Even in his mind, he wondered if these monks were real monks or bad monks like everyone said. Don't let him smoke, but bad monks can even eat dog meat. But Lucas just thought so without saying anything. He threw the cigarette out of the car door and continued driving. After going to a section of the road, the monk asked Lucas to stop the car. "Can you stop the car for a moment?" Lucas thought they must have wanted to go to the bathroom, so he parked the car on the side of the road, resulting in all 5 monks getting out of the car. This was also when Lucas lit a cigarette at the front of the car while waiting for them. He thinks, what a hassle and rules, even going to the bathroom has to be dragged by the whole group. But as soon as Lucas realized he had guessed wrong, the 5 monks walked to a nearby junction and sat there cross-legged. They are chanting. Lucas immediately extinguished the cigarette in his hand and took a few steps forward. Lucas said he had an inexplicable feeling in his heart at that moment, not sure if it was curiosity or what. Lucas found it strange because they chanted here, but then he saw that this junction sign is where traffic accidents often happen and many people die here. Although the road is not very steep and there are no bends, many catastrophic traffic accidents still happen on this road every year. Lucas did not dare to disturb nor dare to ask the monks. He stayed there and waited for 2 hours until the monks stood up and walked back to the car. Also, out of curiosity, Lucas then asked the oldest monk in the group, "Hey, what have you done?" "Praying for the souls here to escape," the old monk replied gently, "because there are too many negative spirits. bad spirits gather, many accidents often happen. The old monk also added that although they have chanted prayers for their souls to be released, many souls are wandering around here who have not yet gone. Lucas was a bit surprised, but he still didn't believe it completely. Lucas wanted to confirm if these monks had been here or had heard of accidents here before. "Master, have you been here or heard of this before?" The old monk replied softly, "They only do it because they have seen dead souls wandering somewhere, and they will chant sutras to help them get out." It was also the first time Lucas believed and feared Buddhist monks, and he respected the monks even more in the next stages of his journey. Next, according to the original plan, Lucas drove the monks to the construction site. He pays attention to safe driving and has a very respectful attitude. Then he safely brought the monks back to the hotel in the city. Before Lucas left, the old monk told Lucas something very unexpected. "Driver, thank you for taking us all day. I know you're wearing a Guanyin Bodhisattva face. Give it to me, and I'll chant your blessing." This made Lucas extremely surprised. It is true that he wears a piece of Buddha's mother, according to his mother's words, to stay safe. But he always wears a shirt to cover it. How could the old monk know? But Lucas did as the monk said, took it out and gave it to him. He respectfully gave the necklace with Buddha's face that he was wearing around his neck to the old monk. "This is this piece of jade," Lucas said here. He pulled it out from the collar for me to see as evidence. I glanced at the Guanyin Buddha pendant. I saw it like any other pendant, normal, nothing special because I don't believe in those things. I think people buy it and wear it only as to buy themselves a kind of psychological comfort. What blessing! Is it really that useful? I asked. Lucas was a little worried when I asked that. He pulled out the collar and showed me the new scar on his neck and replied, "Are you asking if it helps? Look at the scar on my neck." I saw a new scar about 10 centimeters on his neck. At a glance I knew it was a new scar, because I had never seen this scar before. "Hey, what is this scar? When did you have it without me knowing?" I asked worriedly. Lucas said it was due to a car accident. I remembered that Lucas had a small accident during my recent business trip abroad when he said that. Lucas said the car accident happened after he was carrying the monks. He drove some new workers to the construction site, and Lucas was returning with an empty car. While he was driving, a truck behind him suddenly sped up. It was a truck carrying construction materials. The rebar was piled up behind. Suddenly, the car lost control, ran like crazy, and turned into the lane where Lucas was going. Lucas was startled and hit the steering wheel to avoid that car. He was okay. "Damn it." Lucas curses and slows down. Immediately after that, Lucas discovered that the car seemed to have lost control. It kept going from one side to the other, changing direction continuously at high speed. Lucas clearly saw the truck moving zigzag. Lucas thought that maybe the truck driver in front of him was drunk or he was not sober, so he would stay away from that car. Lucas started to slow down behind with frustration. Lucas hates the most and drives irresponsibly and causing danger like that. I was frustrated when suddenly the truck changed direction and ran towards Lucas's car. And it suddenly braked. Although Lucas was running slowly, the truck suddenly rushed to the side of the road where Lucas was going and suddenly stopped. So he couldn't react in time. It was too late to brake. A loud noise came out. Lucas's car crashed into the back of the truck. Lucas felt that the inertia was too great, which caused his body to hit the windshield, unable to control it. Too scared, panicking, close to death makes Lucas's eyes only shut tight, dark, and seem to be unconscious. When he woke up, he still thought he was dead. Lucas's eyes widened, and he was almost scared to pee his pants. The steel pipes of the truck in front of him had even pierced the windshield of his car, and it was completely pierced into the car. The most amazing thing is a steel pipe with a sharp tip pressing on Lucas's neck. But it is blocked by the face of the Bodhisattva Guanyin he is wearing around his neck. If it weren't for that Buddha jewel to stop the giant steel skewer, his throat would have been pierced. Lucas knows that he has met a great misfortune, all thanks to the Bodhisattva Guanyin who saved him from this disaster. Also thanks to the old monk who blessed him, and maybe he foresaw this accident. If it weren't for that monk, if it weren't for this Buddha pearl that I'm wearing around my neck, I'd probably be lying in the grave right now, not sitting here talking and drinking with you, Lucas told me. After listening to Lucas, I also felt scared. Is it just a coincidence? Is it too coincidental? Many things in this world are truly mysterious and difficult to explain. For example, aliens, such as ghosts, gods, and Buddhas. These worlds that people always want to explore but are also afraid to explore. I froze for a moment and then raised my glass. Congratulations, my brother is safe and alive. Good luck in the future. I don't really believe in that story, but at least I respect my friend's faith. We toast together. Buddha, thank you for your protection.